I'm so excited that I got into the main event, competing with the world's best, so it should be interesting and I'm excited.
The Sunset Beach Pro proved to be more spectacular than the assembled athletes could have ever hoped for, with day 2 of the contest witnessing giant surf. After 3 days of spectacular action, it would all come down to a fiercely fought-out final that witnessed the meteoric rise of a new star in the stand-up world.
Winning this event, Kai Lanny, congratulations, now 17 years old.
With a well-deserved title under his belt and paddle in hand, Kai Lenny now joined the rest of the World Tour athletes as they set off for the quaint beach town of Anglet, a nucleus for the surf community in Europe and the location for the second stop of the Stand-Up World Tour for 2010.
How's it, everybody? Kaino McGee here in Anglet, France. Day 1 of Stand-Up World Tour, event number 2. Thank you. As you can tell, the support from the people here and the organizers did an awesome job. We got our little surf village here. We're scheduled tomorrow morning for a 6:30 check-in and a 7 o'clock start. Nice and early for the competitors so that we can get the tide before it gets too high and get some really good waves.
So the threats in this contest are going to be Kolu Kalama.
We also got local Peo Lizarazu from France, and he got 4th in Sunset, and so he's definitely going to be a guy to watch here in France.
And I think we're going to have to watch out about Kai Lenny. Kai, who did really good at Sunset on big waves, but with his really lightweight, I think it's going to be really difficult to beat him on small conditions.
We stopped further south in Guétari and hung out with one of the locals. He's like the guy. He's like one of the best stand-up guys here.
The English guy coming. Ah! Tous les Hawaïens qu'on a bien entendus, ouais. À peine arrivé dans le village, il y a tous les restaurants qui ont fermé les portes, ils ont eu peur, ils étaient effrayés. Mais dès qu'ils ont le ventre plein et qu'ils ont une bière à la main, ça va, ça se calme. Donc c'est bien.
Everyone's so nice, all the local people, and the conditions aren't bad either.
Mais non, avant tout, on est fiers de notre région qui est quand même assez connue dans le monde. En tout cas, dans le monde du surf, c'est vrai que c'est connu parce qu'on a des vagues. On a des vagues ici, il y a eu la compète des championnats du monde Oxbow.
Yeah, France is always an awesome place to come. I love coming here, people are cool, the food's insane.
Came a few days early, so I had the opportunity to go check out Hossegor and Biarritz and all of Anglet and just scored with good waves. I'm so stoked.
But the waves are set, it's good. You know, it's set up great for stand-up paddling here.
Ah, j'étais super fier, c'est mon cousin quand même, hein. J'étais super fier parce que c'est vrai que faire une performance à Hawaï pour un Européen, c'est quand même un truc un peu inespéré. Maintenant, je savais, enfin, il m'a pas dit qu'il y allait ce couillon, mais je savais qu'il avait le surf pour à Sunset. C'est vrai que cette vague-là, la Parlementaire Guétari, quand ça marche, ça ressemble beaucoup à Sunset et il a les appuis puissants. Et pour avoir vu un peu la vidéo, c'est vrai que tu disais que les Européens, nous on avait des planches beaucoup plus courtes et des planches un peu plus performantes. Et c'est vrai que Peyo, pour avoir vu la vidéo, était un de ceux qui attaquait le plus au niveau du bottom parce qu'il a développé ses modèles avec ses rails couchés, quoi. Et je pense que ça va créer des émules et que tout le monde va se mettre à ses planches de plus en plus sportives, quoi. Et il a bien tiré son épingle du jeu, non? Ouais, c'est cool. Ouais, il y a des très bons surfeurs, ouais. Des gars qui viennent tous de la petite planche, qui ont fait de la compétition, des mecs comme Xavier Leroy. Sinon, sur la compète, ouais, c'était bien de voir qu'au trial, il y avait plein de gars qui étaient là, de Bretagne, de partout.
Yeah, we had the first round of the trials this morning. Super clean, you know, 2, maybe 3 feet on the set. It's really contestable.
How's it, everybody? We're here with Kyle Mochizuki from San Clemente, California. He had to compete this morning in a trial, so what are your thoughts with how things went this morning?
Very nice. I was fortunate to be in one of the first heats, and we had some really nice waves. The tide cooperated great. The wind was nice. Lovely time.
Yeah, it looks way better than all the other days. Looks like it's going to have some fun. The waves are coming in. It's action, guaranteed.
I think the event's going great. You just have to time the heats when there's waves. the tide makes the waves break or not break?
Yeah, when the conditions are a little smaller like this, it's hard to see big differences in people's abilities. And especially, you know, you got to keep in mind a lot of guys came a long ways to compete, and there's a lot of enthusiasm. They want to do well, and so it makes it challenging to judge because you want everybody to do well, but the waves,
it is
sometimes
what it is.
they don't let that happen.
Right.
But it's a great setup here.
It's going really well. Well, here's the deal. It's all a bit of an unknown for us. From what I hear from the French judges and a lot of the French riders, I guess the tide's at everything here. So we had some fun waves this morning, 2 to 3 feet at the most, but clean and definitely rideable, very contestable. Apparently within half an hour, what looks like a lake out here now is going to turn into the same kind of thing. So should have some action this afternoon.
Bon, les conditions sont meilleures que ce qu'on pensait, parce que ce matin, quand on s'est levé tôt, beaucoup de vent, pas de vagues. Là maintenant, on a plus d'1 mètre, pas trop de vent, et tout le monde est content, donc c'est super.
Bueno, no está muy bien, pero a ver, haremos todo lo que podamos hacer. Venga, muchos españoles en esta manga,
Super good. Sunny, super good wave, like in a dream.
How'd it go for you? Yeah, that's okay. Apparently I got through. So yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, it's good. Fun wave.
It was difficult. A lot of current, a lot of wind, but some wave, some nice wave.
Despite small, unpredictable surf, the trials clearly showcase the extent of the emerging European talent. Stay tuned as we see how they fare against the world's best in the prestigious main event.
Hi, my name is Peyo Lissarassou. I'm a stand-up surfer from France. We are here at Barlan. Barlan is France's first surfboard manufacturer. They started doing surfboards in 1958, and we're going to go for a tour of the store. And actually, more than the store, we are going to go for a tour of the workshop. Let's go. This is maybe one of France's first ever surf store, the first ever board manufacturer in France and Europe, I think. So we've got only Barlan surfboards from Philippe. They are pure engineers, so they are not scared to think differently. And when I came to him with this project to start shaping stand-ups, he was all excited, and I was too, because I knew he would come up with different things, which, you know, now, 4 years after, I've got some fantastic boards from him, and I'm really happy. You know, personally as a surfer, I've always been attracted to big waves. I do a bit of towing. And I've been doing shortboard all my life. But yeah, I've always been keen into big waves, and so I tried stand-up surfing actually for the first time in Hawaii, in Makaha, with some of the boys, which I can consider friends, you know, Melvin Pooh in particular. In June 2006, Laird Hamilton showed up. He came in France for the first time ever with a stand-up. And while I got introduced to Laird, I asked him if I could borrow his board to make my first board. And he was really cool, and he said, yeah, you can take it. So I took it for an afternoon, and I brought it here. We had a close look at the board with Philippe for 1 hour. And 10 days after, I had this 12-foot board that you saw, which is now my first board ever. And actually, you know, you asked the story about why I do have red boards. Well, my first board that was done by my dad was red, pigment red. And that's why I always love my red boards, because it was the color of my first board. Yeah, my family has been into sports big time. You know, my dad was one of the first surfers, you know, back in the 60s in my hometown, which is Hendaye. So Hendaye is just the last border between Spain and France. Surfing was not created in Europe, but as I said earlier, you know, there's definitely this ocean culture with rowing, you know, traditional rowings. You know, I was speaking about whale hunters, you know. Those whale hunters were going hunting whales with big rowing boats, you know. So, you know, you had to be full of courage to do that. And, you know, I think Basque people do have this courage and do have this knowledge of the ocean too.
After a fiercely contested trials event, all competitors are now hoping for better swell to be able to illustrate the evolution of the sport in front of a frothing local crowd. Local favourites Xabi, Peyo and Antoine Del Perot will be major obstacles, but there is no doubt that Kai Lenny from Hawaii is a force to be reckoned with, even this far from home.
All right, we got Mr. Kai Lenny, won his heat as well this morning, made it through, still going.
No, for sure. It was nice to actually get on and do your heat, because The waves this past week have been so bad that finally, at least when you get a set here, it's just really riffable. It's just finding them.
There is no better source for a lowdown on the conditions the contenders will be facing here in Anglet than local favorite Peo Lizarazu himself.
You know, it can change so quickly. You know, these are sandbars. You know, you've got tides that do change a lot, the shape and the size of the surf. It will be definitely a bit more tricky, more competitive. You have to be able to read the ocean, to be able to read how to go through the break. You know, it's not going to be a type of wave like Sunset where you can paddle around. There's going to be some challenges going across the break, and that will be interesting.
In Heat 3, local Antoine Del Perot demonstrated just how well this wave can be surfed, while the Tahitian contingent seemed to be struggling with the cold conditions.
Ben moi, personnellement, je suis très content d'être en France parce que j'ai beaucoup d'amis ici et puis je suis très content de venir surfer ici, même si les vagues sont toutes petites, quoi. Et puis, voilà, nous sommes 3 Tahitiens qui sommes venus de Tahiti pour participer à cette compétition de stand-up World Tour. Et puis bon, les conditions étaient un peu très difficiles pour nous puisque on n'a pas l'habitude de surfer des vagues de 50 cm à 1 mètre dans de l'eau froide et tout. Et bon, on a eu beaucoup de mal à s'exprimer dans ces vagues et puis bon, c'est la compétition, on n'a pas eu de chance et puis bon, on essaiera de se rattraper à la maison.
And I'm pretty just hooked.
Do you think is it taking the place of longboarding for you, or it's definitely come side by side?
No, I'd say it's definitely taking the place of longboarding for me. My new thing now, if I'm on a board over 8 foot, I might as well have a paddle in my hand because I can turn harder and go faster. So I'm hooked. I've always felt really comfortable on a big board. That's why I think longboarding worked out for me. So that's probably the only thing. You know, we're used to throwing around bigger boards, and my longboard style was definitely more progressive than I wasn't known as a traditional longboard by any means. So these boards, just where you want them to go, you stick the paddle and they just follow.
Tell me a little bit about the conditions and your strategy.
Find the open face, bro. Just find the open face. That's all it is right now. It's not super perfect, so a couple big turns, maybe a quick nose ride.
That's really good. I saw all at the end of my wave. I don't know. I was lucky.
How do you feel?
I'm just stoked, bro. I can't feel my toes. That's how I feel. But I'm just stoked I made it out and, you know, get ready for the next one.
Oh, no good, mate. Yeah, probably not the best heat, I don't think. But anyway, it was fun.
Woo. Here we are, freezing our ass off in beautiful France. Woo. Oh well, here we go. Still get the beanie, still get the shoes. Throw them on right before the heat starts, baby. I think the weather's a lot colder than it's been, so that's catching a lot of people off guard. It's rough out there. Seems so small, but you watch this paddling for the wave, everybody's falling. It's really bumpy, really weak, so thank God it's actually kind of cleaner than we had expected with stronger wind. It's really gnarly out there as far as, it's been so long since I competed in cold water, you can't breathe. Your chest and your lungs are just all like frozen.
Is Danish?
Yeah, with a cousin.
The friends in the family! Ah!
They did it on purpose, I'm sure.
No. We are at home, huh?
Yeah.
They don't have to forget they are at home, you know? So tell me about your strategy against each other.
Oh, we are not against...
the right, I take the left,
exactly.
and I don't take nothing.
It's not against us, we are still the same family, so trouble for the others.
Back with the Hawaiian guy.
So you had a couple of waves there in the heat with your cousin. Yep. How was it?
That was cool. He's a good stand-up surfer. I showed him stand-up surfing, but I mean, he was a good surfer and he learned by himself fairly quickly. And I'm glad we went through together.
Okay, and any other standouts for you? I mean, you saw a couple of heats today. You're able to see.
I haven't been able to see everything, but you know, it's finally good to see everybody surfing. You know why? Not everybody got the chance to really show the skills.
Just real quick, right here we got brother Dwayne De Soto, the winner of his first heat. So how do you feel moving forward?
Just psyched to be making it through the heat. I don't care what the conditions are, I just want to beat those guys.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
Simple enough, bro. Easy enough. How's it, everybody? Kano McGee here for Stand Up World Tour, event number 2 in Anglet, France. If you look behind me, it looks like it's Anglet, but it's not. This is Hossegor.
Following a decision to wait for conditions to improve, contenders and judges head out to explore the countryside. A well-deserved opportunity for the judges to fulfill their competitive urges on the go-kart track.
We got Jeff Warner here. He is our go-kart champ for round 1. Tell us about your strategy out there, Jeff.
Yeah, you brake into the turn, accelerate out, and if you have to, bump your buddy. That was my technique.
He likes to bump his buddy, heard that? You only hear that here on WatermanLeague.com.
Only in France.
All right!
Surrounded by the intense rivalry at the track, we sat down with Kai Lenny to talk about his championship win, as well as his approach coming into this event in France.
I'd never won a big event before, and so it was really a good feeling to have it all come together after all that training. It just felt so good just to hold that paddle up above my head. Definitely want to keep repeating that because it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's one of those things that once you get some, you just want more. And so I had a lot of fun. It was probably one of the most memorable events I'll ever have. I've really been doing a lot of training in Australia for this event in particular. It's on the West Coast, surfing empty beach breaks identical to this. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna put in my all and have a good plan to what to do, so I just can't wait to get in the water and put it to work.
How'd it go for you out there? Oh, rough. It was bouncy, hard to balance, but rideable.
Oh, it was fun. Hard to get waves out there. It's a lot going on, but got some good ones all the way to the beach, so I'm stoked. Harder than yesterday even, but it's okay. I'm used to it where I live. It's kind of like this, so perfect.
As the tide changes, the conditions become harder to read, making wave selection even more critical for the contenders.
I just got clubbed for like 15 minutes straight, huh? That's the way it goes, eh? Sometimes you get out, sometimes you get caught. I got caught and spent most of my heat swimming, but that's the way it goes, huh?
I get a couple waves and I'm pretty happy about my heat, so I'm good.
Tougher than it looks out there. Freaking bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Oh man, trying to make it to the beach is the key thing right now.
You know, I thought I picked a couple that were gonna be clean, but they didn't turn out too good. But I got a couple moves, so I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, how'd it go for you?
That's hard. That's so hard out there. Oh, it's like being in a washing machine. There you go, I'm clean now.
Buzzy's the head judge for this event as well as the Tahiti event. So we're going to try and get his perspective from a judge's point of view. Take it away.
Well, the surf's very tide affected here, so we try to work around the best tides of the day when the waves are actually the cleanest. The wind sort of lightened up this afternoon as they predicted, and the waves are getting much better.
Yeah, definitely looks like that.
So conditions are looking better, and once again, the guys that are able to make these conditions look good, the same guys seem to pick off the better waves no matter what the conditions, and the semis and final looks to be really exciting this afternoon. I can't wait to see what goes down.
All right, once again, we have brother Robin Johnson here with us, a shaper surfer extraordinaire and semi-finalist in Anglet, France.
This morning was very challenging. The waves were all over the place. Right now, I'm warming up for the semi-final, and I'm excited about it because it looks like it's improving a little.
It's classic condition for
you guys,
for this part of year. You know, in spring you have north wind most of the time, so we used to surf this kind of wave, but not in stand-up for sure.
Yeah.
Semi-final 1 saw Kai Lenny come up against local favourite Antoine Del Pirol, Maverick's big wave champion Chris Burtish, and an on-form Robin Johnston. Despite a strong surge from Hawaii's Johnston, it was a battle of epic proportions between Antoine and Kai.
It's a tricky home court here, so there's definite home court advantage to the French guys, and they're looking strong out here, really showing that they know the home court.
You know, I would say all the guys from Hawaii are the top dogs. You know, I'm staying with Dwayne and Kai, so I've been surfing with them the most. You know, every session we're surfing together, and you know, they're killing it. So I watch those guys and watch how hard they turn and the different styles and approach to the wave compared to, I mean, for me, I've just been seeing the California guys the past, you know, 2 years stand-up paddling. I haven't seen, this is my first competition I've been to, so I haven't seen other styles and different ways to approach the wave and different boards and stuff. So it's pretty neat to see everybody's, you know, technique. I think, I mean, for something so new right now with a sport that's just gonna expand and boom, it's without a doubt something that I'm gonna be diving into full time, just like I have. I'm thinking, you know, I had a good 10, 12 year run at the longboard thing. I'm hoping now it just takes the place and I, you know, have another 10, 12 year run at this because this is what I want to do. So I'm gonna go full on.
Well, if you guys haven't been staying tuned, which you should be, at watermanleague.com, what we have here is basically what they're calling the Surfers Village, and basically you can see the banners from all the sponsors that are present here, all the sponsors who gave money, time, products, whatever it took to get this event going. So we definitely want to thank all those sponsors, the weather and stuff like that. I said that they cannot control, but everything that they could control, they did a damn good job. So merci beaucoup.
After 2 spectacular semi-finals, it was now time for the final 4 to meet for the climactic showdown in Anglet, in their quest for the event title and to improve their position in the overall World Tour rankings for 2010. Kai Lenny gets the ball rolling fast, picking off a seemingly inconsequential wave that then lines up all the way to the inside and gives him a solid score to start with. Not to be shown up on their home turf, Antoine and Peo both put together some great rides in the challenging and unpredictable conditions, making sure that young champion Kai Lenny has his work cut out for him. However, it is Colin McPhillips who proves to be the danger in this heat, picking off wave after wave and milking them all the way to the beach, posting some high scores with his critical riding style. As the heat draws to a close, Antoine seems to be unstoppable, with some epic waves including a spectacular nose ride that brings the crowds to their feet despite strong pushes in particular from Colin, but also Kai and Peo.
G'day, how you going? My name's Dave O'Muir here in Anglet in France. We just had the final in France. It's been a sick event. Unfortunately, we didn't have that great of waves early. It was really small. I was one of the casualties early, spewing, but that's the way it goes. But yeah, we're all pumped to head off to Tahiti after this. But yeah, it was sick here in France. It's been probably I think it was the coldest May they've had since 1938, so everyone was really chilly in the water. But apart from that, we had some waves to the final. The crowd was sick, the people are sick. We're just stoked to be here.
In front of an enthralled Anglet crowd, it was time to announce and crown the winner of the Stand Up World Tour stop number 2.
Okay, you just won the event. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels so great. It's very cool to win at home. So all my friends were here, my family, and it was such a good time. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the next year? Where are we going next?
Next we're going to Tahiti. I go tomorrow morning on the plane, so I'm gonna be pretty busy next days, a few days, but it's fun, and hopefully the sun is coming with us because here it was very cold.
Where's our next stop?
We're going to Tahiti, Yorana. Warm weather, where we belong.
Watch out.